Well, good morning, everybody. We're going to fix us some southern fried potatoes and sausage this morning. First of all, we've got to cut our potatoes. Let me adjust this camera so you can see what I'm doing. Turn on the light above. And I'm simply going to peel a couple of potatoes. But you know what? Before I do that, what I'm going to do, I think, is get over here and start my sausage. So that can be cooking just a tiny bit while I'm cutting the potatoes up. It's rainy outside today, so I wanted to come up with something to fix indoors, and this is what I decided to do. And I'm not, I'm cooking for myself, so I'm not going to use even a half a pound of sausage. I'm going to use maybe a quarter of it. Oops. And you can use kielbasa sausage, andouille sausage, any of those sausage links that you can get. And I'm just going to basically drop it in hunks. Because I don't want it to like cook apart. I want it to be like little sausage pieces. If I'd have had the kielbasa, I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly. They have some at Walmart that is venison, beef, and pork, and I love it. I like it because it's low in fat, because it has that venison in it. It's the only place I've found where you could get venison sausage. Venison anywhere, of any kind, really, unless you go out and shoot it yourself. This is going to be enough breakfast for me for a couple of mornings out of this pan. But that's okay, it's good. That sausage off of my fingers. So we're just going to let that sausage be browning while I cut up my potatoes here. And you don't even have to peel your potatoes. If you wash them good, you can leave the peelings right on there. Sometimes I leave them on, sometimes I take them off. But this is a low budget meal, for anybody. Yeah, the sun's not even shining today, and you can go out there and it's not really misting rain, but you can feel like the humidity in the air. I had one out there first thing and opened the greenhouse door because I didn't want it to get hot in there. But I went back out there a little while ago and closed it because it's really not hot. It's about 60 degrees, I think. Yeah, I'm saving my peelings. All my food scraps are going to go in my compost tea buckets because I don't want to cause ants. So, and I definitely don't want any more potatoes growing. Get one more potato. But that's why, you know, you don't have to put your potato peelings in your compost or your totes when you make them. You just put all that stuff, start putting it in your compost tea buckets. That'll make your compost tea even stronger. And you don't have to worry about growing potatoes in your totes. Just washing these off. And you can slice them, you can dice them, basically do whatever you want to with them. I think you can see what I'm doing. Let me move this camera just a little bit. I have a habit of the camera being to the side and you can't really see what I'm doing. But I just cut them in half. And then I'm making little wedges like this. But then I'm going to go down the wedge and cut them like in little cubes. But like I said, you can cut them basically however you want. Cut it in half. Cut it in half again. And then turn them and dice them. I mean, you can, you know, cook less or more. Depends on how many people you're cooking for. I'm just coming over here and I'm going to turn my sausage. And I'm taking my potatoes over here, and I'm just going to put them right in the pan. Now I got to dice up my onion. sticking to my fingers. Ooh, my eyes are burning. I got one that I had started cutting up already. It's about half that onion, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to put just a little bit more oil, because that's got to fry the potatoes and the onions. And this is optional. You don't have to put garlic salt. Let me move the camera. I don't want to be too far away. This is definitely optional. I'm putting a little bit of garlic powder. I'm putting a little bit of pepper. And a little bit of sea salt. Got sea salt on my hand. Now, we're going to brown that. Move it over here. We're going to go ahead and brown it until the potatoes are done. I had to fix my cup of coffee this morning. Mix it up just a little bit. Now this is real good with smoked kielbasa sausage. Or like I said, the venison beef and pork sausage that they have. The link sausage, it's a kielbasa-like sausage, which is really good. Throwing stuff out of my pan. I would have used that, but I didn't have any this morning, so I used the sausage that I did have. Now the potatoes, by the time they're done, they'll be a little soft and they'll be a little crispy at the same time. And I like to cover them a little while and let them cook. It kind of speeds up the cooking process. Yeah, I couldn't imagine, well, what am I going to do today? You know, what am I going to do for my video? And I decided, well, it's time for another cooking video since it's rainy. And I went out yesterday and I transplanted some of my winter squash, my yellow squash plants that came up in the greenhouse. I went ahead and I planted those in my Easter garden in my pink totes. So all of my pink totes are planted. They've either got winter squash, yellow squash, watermelon, or some kind of a squash, plus the little pots that I put in there that I'm growing like cilantro and some other things in. And I can take you out there and show you just a minute. Let's see. And I'll go show you while that sausage and potatoes are cooking. And I went ahead and planted nasturtium seeds in that one. I've got all of those planted with either zucchini or parsley, yellow squash, my Chinese cabbage, cantaloupe. And the cantaloupe's coming up. Look at there. See right there? That's that cantaloupe coming up from seed. My cabbage. It's going to be interesting to see how that cabbage looks. I probably should have planted it in the bottom one and put the cantaloupe up there. Watermelon. I've got yellow squash in the tote here, the pink one. And I've got Kajari melon in the little pink round pot. I've got yellow squash planted in this tote. I've got parsley in the little pot. I've got yellow squash here. See the little plants? And then I've got peppers and some other things in here. I had a yellow squash up there, but I had so much else growing in it, I had to get some of this stuff out. There was too much. I don't know if that's a tomato or what that is right there. But I've got shark fin squash here. Kajari melon in the little pot. Hot pepper in the little pot here. And then I've got winter squash in the pink tote, the little plants. I've got shark fin squash here. And then I got a cantaloupe in the small round pot. I've got, I can't pronounce it. It's Yamato Sanjaken or something, cucumber in my pot or my tote. And then I've got a purple eggplant in the pot from seed. But that's the name of it. I don't know if you can read it or not, if you can pronounce it, but that's the kind of cucumber that I've got in the pink tote here. And they're little plants that came up in the greenhouse, and I said with weather like this, they need to be outside in the totes. So that's what I did. And I put my romaine lettuce in this tote and in that little pot. And it looks like they like it in there. I just planted it yesterday and they're already perked up. So that's my romaine lettuce right there. I got a watermelon here. And this one, it hasn't come up yet. And I got a winter squash in that. I've got yellow squash here. And I've got a Brandy Boy tomato seed planted in that little pot. So we'll see if it comes up. So we need to go get back inside and check on the potatoes and the sausage. Don't want it to burn up. But I wanted to show you what I was doing yesterday because I didn't get the chance to film it. I didn't decide to do it till the last minute, so. I just thought some of you might like to see that. Let's back up here. Starting to look good. Smells good, that's for sure. I mean, this dish you can cook for your breakfast. You can cook it for your lunch. You can cook it for your dinner. And I'm drinking my cup of coffee. Yeah, and I'm undecided still what to do with my hair. I don't know if to leave it the lighter blonde color, put it back the darker color, or what to do with it. I get bored with it no matter what I do to it. And every time I've let it grow out gray to the natural color, even though it's not completely gray, it looks more like it's frosted. I don't know, I get tired of that too, and then I end up coloring it again, so. Oh, that's my first cup of coffee this morning. It's so good. But I couldn't sleep last night, and I was up here at 3:30 in the morning watching TV. I was watching some movies, and finally, almost about 4 o'clock, I went back to bed. Still couldn't go to sleep. And then finally, about 7:30 or so, I dozed off. And I didn't get out of bed till about 10:30. So this is my lunch and my breakfast all combined. And this is my first cup of coffee. I did get up and take a shower, however. That coffee's good. Yeah, it's not time to transplant tomatoes. They need probably another couple of weeks before I put tomatoes out. My plants are not big enough for one, and I want them to get a little bigger and a lot healthier than what they are before I put them out in the yard. My nose is running a little bit from peeling those, cutting up those onions. I mean, that's some of the milder ones that I've had. But still, anything like that that I cut that has a strong since I'm not going to use this bottom, I'm going to put it in there to put the rest of it, because it's still good onion. And I've got another garlic clove that's just about rooted enough to go ahead and plant it outside. So that'll give me 2 garlic cloves that I planted, which will give me about 22 garlics. I mean, you know, that's not enough to last me all winter. But it's better than not having any at all planted. And I plant for myself, so and I don't have that big a yard, and I don't want to put all my plants up in the front yard. I want to keep my vegetable plants toward the back of the yard, and my flowers and roses and all my other stuff toward the front. How is it in your neck of the woods today? Are you having sunshine or rainy weather? There, now you can see me. But you know what? That bite that I've got on my arm, it doesn't itch as bad today. I don't know if you can see that. And the swelling's gone down. It's not as red. And my neighbor, the new neighbor that moved in across the street in that new house, she came over while I was out in the yard, or right after I stepped in the house to wash my hands. She came over and just introduced herself to me. And I forgot the name of the town. It's somewhere like on the other side of Wichita Falls from here. And she's 16 weeks pregnant, so this will be her first baby. I think she said it's due the 1st of September. And she's a young girl, so that's a young couple that lives next door now. So they'll have a little one running around by next year. She seemed like a really nice girl. I enjoyed chatting with her. I was kind of glad she came over because I thought about stepping over there and talking to them and introducing myself, but I know how it is when people are moving in, and you know, there's so much hassle. They've been on the road trying to drive the moving trucks, and it's just a hassle moving. So I said, well, I'll give them some space and some time. And I think I'm going to turn that up just a little bit and let it fry without the, yeah, because those potatoes are starting to cook. I just didn't want to, you know, butt in over there when I know it's a difficult time. And her name is unusual. I've never heard it before. I think she said Darner or Barner. Darner, I think. Almost like you're going to say Darnell, but you don't put the EL on the end. She was a nice girl. Yeah, this is what I told her. I said, you know, we have problems with water rationing and all that. And she said, well, that's hard to imagine. She said, we've had rain just about every other day or so since they have moved in. And I said, well, that's because this is what I call the rainy season. Spring of the year is when we get a lot of rain off and on. That's why people love to plant this time of year. Because I'm going to go ahead and clean up while we're watching the potatoes cook and the sausage, while I talk to you. But yeah, I told her, I said, well, this is what I consider the rainy season, the springtime here, and it's the best time to plant because you know, everything stays moist and you don't have to worry about everything drying out as bad. It's warm enough that you can put plants in the ground and they'll survive. You know, they don't get burned up right after you plant them. And I usually have just about everything that I'm going to plant planted by now. I mean, I usually have all my seeds out, even planted in the yard. Everything but my tomato plants. I don't put my tomato plants out, like I said, till later because they can't handle the cold. But pepper plants, tomato plants, and stuff like that, I'll wait another week or two. But I found, you know, from past experience, mid-March is the best time to get your garden planted. Especially if you're going to plant everything from seeds, except your tomatoes. In late March, I even put tomato seed in some of my pots. Like I told you when I made that salad in that video the other day, I took a hunk of that tomato, that Roma tomato, that had a bunch of seeds in it, and I went out here and stuck it in a little pot right under the arbors here in the back. I've always had good luck with doing that. I can, if I get tomato and it's a tomato I really like, I said, well, I want to grow some of these. I'll take a good slice of it and put that slice in the dirt in a pot or a tote and cover it up just a tiny bit. And it takes it a while, but it, you know, eventually you'll get a lot of little tomato plants from that slice. I mean, in fact, you can get hundreds of tomato plants from one slice of tomato. This is looking good, y'all. Look at that. Isn't that looking good? I'm hungry. That's going to be breakfast for like 3 mornings for me. And I'm moving the camera back because some of my viewers have commented that they really love my cooking videos because I'm in a real down-to-earth kitchen. It's not staged. And this is not staged. This is my home. I mean, this is where I cook every day. They like it because it's a real down-to-earth home kitchen. You know, it's not a staged kitchen. It's not in the studio. And they said they like it that I'm a down-to-earth person, which I am. I don't put on any airs. And my sleeve is a little bit tight. It bugs me. I love this shirt, but, you know, sometimes you get shirts or clothes and they fit in some ways, in other ways they don't. So, but anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. She said that it was a down-to-earth kitchen. I do home cooking, down-to-earth home cooking, no frills. I'm a down-to-earth person. But they said the only thing that they would like was to see me in the video. They say, we always see the food or what you're doing, but we never see your face. I said, well, I didn't really think anybody wanted to see my face, but that's why I did this camera like this morning. If I can get it straight. So, you can actually see who's cooking. It's me. Every bit of me. I was about to get it too brown. And it's best to take a spatula to flip your sausage and your stuff over. Because if you take a spoon or something and try to stir it, turn that down just a little bit, it'll cause your potatoes to fall apart. Let me check on these potatoes. Not quite yet. But I figured anybody watching my cooking videos would say, well, that's just an ordinary dish everybody fixes every day or every other day. You know, there's nothing special to it. I've already got that recipe. Well, I know people cook basically the same meals all over the world, in fact. But like Germany, they make a hot potato salad. And sometimes I serve my potato salad hot. You know, I'll boil my potatoes and I'll dump them in a big bowl. I'll add all my mayo and my ingredients to make my potato salad. And it's still kind of warm when you eat it. But they do theirs a little differently. I mean, they cook the onions, which I don't cook the onions in mine. Mine are raw onions in my potato salad. They cook the onions with bacon or whatever else they put in there. And then they put in the cooked potatoes, kind of like I'm doing this sausage and potatoes. And it's all steaming hot when they serve it. I mean, it's a hot potato salad, and it's really good, but it's a little different than our potato salad that we know. So that's one reason I decided I was going to start doing these videos, because even though it might be called the same dish, depending on what region of this world you're from, or what area from the United States you're from, you may do it a little differently. And it's kind of interesting to see the different ways, the different recipes that different people from different areas can fix that same dish by the same name, but it kind of turns out different. So that's why I started doing my little videos on cooking. Plus it fills in between my garden videos, because like today, I'm not going to get out there and do anything in the yard because it's the way it looks, it's apt to start pouring down rain any minute. And I don't want to be out there in the middle of doing some gardening chore and it pour down rain on me. So that's why I'm not doing one today. You do have to watch it because you don't want it to burn up. Those onions will brown before anything else. And that's what's kind of getting overly browned in my dish right here this morning. But they're brown, they're not burnt. And I think it's done. It's something to be a shorty and have overhead cabinets, which I know, you know, every kitchen has overhead cabinets, but one of my friends asked me one time, they said, what would you absolutely not want in your kitchen? And I said, I do not ever want to have an overhead microwave. I said, to me, that is danger waiting to happen. But here is my southern fried sausage and potatoes. Oh, I tell you what, it smells so good. You got to fix this dish. I think you'll like it. And I am going to get me some of it. And you can fix eggs with it if you want. I just didn't feel like eggs this morning. So I'm just going to eat my potatoes and sausage. Come over here and get my coffee. Oh man, it's hard to get that camera set just exactly right. But this is my potatoes and sausage. It smells so good, and I know it's going to taste so good. But I'm going to ask a blessing. God, we're grateful for this food. Thank you so much for looking out for me and my garden. Help my garden grow and thrive. I know it will under your care. Bless this food I'm about to eat. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. And I know it's too hot to let it cool off. Get a little bit of the potatoes. Get some of that. Here, you take the first bite. Don't that look good? Mmm. Oh, it's so good. This comes in good too if you got a whole house full of people to feed. You can fix you a big old frying pan full of potatoes and sausage. Southern fried potatoes and sausage. Don't have to worry about the eggs unless you want an egg on the side. But it would go great with scrambled eggs, or it would go great with a fried egg on the side. Well, and like I said, I like it with any kind of sausage. I like it with this sausage. Or I like it with the kielbasa sausage that you slice in the little round wheels. It's really good in this too. Somebody that is kind of close to me, she said, I don't know why in the world anybody would want to go on YouTube and give all their cleaning and cooking secrets and their gardening secrets away. You're never going to make any money on it. I said, well, I'm going to do it anyway, and I don't mind sharing. You know, at my age, I'm not going to live forever, and I don't mind giving some of my little tips and tricks to other people and maybe help their lives be a little better. So, and if I make any money off of my YouTube video on the way, great, fantastic. But y'all do need to fix you some of this. It's really good. Well, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me eat this whole plate of sausage and potatoes. So, I'm going to end the video. I'm going to wish you a blessed day. Please, like and share and subscribe to my videos if you haven't already subscribed. I know I've already passed 1,000 subscribers, but hey, I want 10,000. I want as many subscribers as I can get on my channel. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something worthwhile. And I'll continue on doing it. As long as people will subscribe and watch my videos, I'll keep posting my videos on gardening, cooking, and whatever else I can come up with. Fishing. It's almost time for another fishing video, but the weather has not cooperated. I was going to go fishing the other day and film it, but the wind was blowing so hard, it would have blown me away. So I said, well, that's going to have to wait till another day. But anyway, like I said, like, share, subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye now.